with Tea Party Cthulhu.
All right. Everybody, I hope you've been having a great GDQ so far. Thank you, Humphrey, for the introduction. Can we get a quick round of applause for Humphrey, our excellent host from the audience?
Aww.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. He's going to be here for the next few 2 runs. So I'm Tea Party Cthulhu. You're here to watch me play this game, presumably. If you're not, I don't know what kind of horrible mistake you made. I'm going to introduce my couch real quick. This is Mr. Blasphemousroar. This is Alpha 5. This is Sirniko. We have a bunch of cool folks on the back couch as well, but we might as well get started with a run already. So this is PAC-MAN Championship Edition DX. Our goal right here is that we are going to be doing every time trial in the game for all 12 levels. Let's start with this. So this is PAC-MAN. I'm sure everybody out there knows PAC-MAN.
Standard Pac-Man game. You got ghosts, there are pellets, there are fruit.
Absolutely nothing weird going on here.
No.
Completely normal Pac-Man game.
Some of these ghosts are pretty lazy. As you can see, they're sleeping. But, you know, it's just Pac-Man.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Yeah, they're just chasing you.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I sleep too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not a ghost. Not yet, at least.
No. And it's not like the level layout's randomly changing or anything. That's something that never happens.
So all jokes aside, Pac-Man Championship Edition DX is a 2010 Xbox Live Arcade PSN game that was released on like a bunch of other consoles, like PC, Windows Phone, weird things like that. We are currently running the PC version on Steam because it's the one that I own. And our goal right here is that we're going to be doing all the time trials, which involves picking up every single pellet on the level, which will spawn a fruit, and the fruit spawns the next part of the level. So basically our goal is to optimize the paths that we're taking to eat all the pellets as fast as we can, while also optimizing a few other things. It's going to be tough to kind of keep along with what's going on if you haven't played this game. But the main things to keep track of is at the bottom, you're going to see something called game speed. Game speed is a function of score mostly in this game. And obviously we want the game to go faster because I don't know about all you guys at home, but I like to go fast. Isn't that right? Audience, do we like to go fast here at GDQ? Yeah, that's what I thought.
I like to take it slow. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't belong here.
Get off that couch.
Yeah, get off.
Bye, everybody.
We're all going to be banned by the end of this run. But anyway, so he's doing a lot of things to just optimize how to increase speed, but also to avoid running towards ghosts, because you can see there's a slowdown effect that is really important sometimes for manipulating AI. And as you just saw, there's bombs in this Pac-Man game.
This game is Beat Hazard.
Every
the
game should have a bomb.
Yeah, this game is a cross between Beat Hazard and Pac-Man. There are two types of ghosts. Ones that follow you and roaming ghosts. And the roaming ghosts, this is something that should never be said, but you have to do frame-perfect inputs to manipulate them.
Yes.
Who needs frame-perfect inputs in a Pac-Man game?
The entirety of this game, basically most of the tech comes down to 1, optimizing your paths for movement, and 2, AI manipulation. The AI is consistent to a point. The only problem with that point is that you have to play absolutely perfectly everywhere. So, you know, pretty doable. Pretty much simple. That's the first level done, Championship 2. 2:33, really solid time, actually.
Yeah, not bad.
Considering I actually messed up a few times because at home I don't actually play, I don't own a mechanical keyboard, so I have to get used to like being on a lagless setup and having like a super responsive keyboard. I know trying to play the game when you have responsive input, who would have thought it would have been harder? Especially like in this game, such a like high technicality game.
Yeah, so the thing about this game is that you have to unlock all the small time trials in order to actually unlock the big ones. So you're not going to see a consistent like moving straight from stage to stage. You've actually got to go into the menu and choose the next stage over and make sure to choose the big time trial.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fun things with the stages. It's just really cool, and he's got a history. He was basically the person who kind of created this category because...
Oh, yeah. I should tell the history of that. So this game has had a storied IL scene for quite a while. There have been a lot of IL runners, and by IL runners, I mean most people do the short time trials, which are really lame, and everybody who's watching this that speedruns this game runs single segment, you weenies, and not like all these stupid short time trials.
Oof.
But basically, one day I was bored after doing a bunch of speed games, and I had basically reached my goal in all of them. I was like, you know, I should pick up a new game. Hey, that Pac-Man game was really cool. Maybe I should do single segment runs of that. And I was really shocked to find that nobody had actually done single segment runs for this game, because I thought it was a really interesting speed game to try and optimize. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll do it. And then I posted in the forum on the sirniko.com board, like, hey, can we get this added as a category? And they were like, all right, that sounds cool. And then we had a few other people pick up the game. We've had the first person that picked it up after I did a run was a runner by the name of Zelnia. They immediately crushed my world record at the time, which was uncontested, and I made it my goal for a while to take it back, which I did eventually, but then some other people picked up the game. A name you might recognize at GDQs is Pinball Wizard. He ran PAC-MAN Championship Edition 2 at GDQ last year, like a few years ago or last year. Fantastic run, by the way. Everybody should go watch that. And a few other names. We've had runners by the name of F Symbols, who is a world record holder until 6 days ago, as I found out this morning in the practice room, as Joseph and I were talking, and we loaded up the speedrun.com board and found out that Pinball Wizard took the world record back. So, you know, shout out to Pinball Wizard. He's a really talented runner of both Championship Edition DX and Championship Edition 2. And some other runners, we have Serial Masticator, who picked up this game very recently, has been getting some really impressive times. And of course, then we have all the IL runners. I want to give a special shout out to Bates, who's been trying to beat all the IL world records. He has almost all of them right now, and they're all really impressive times. Oh yeah, by the way, this section's really cool if done properly.
So one of the things you might notice him doing... Oh.
2:37 is an amazing time on Howler.
And you can see he was just kind of going around the ghost because he'd already got his game speed up all the way where he needed to, so no need to eat ghosts anymore. That kind of slows you down a little bit. There are two things that reduce your game speed, which is always bad, and it's if you die, you lose 10 game speed, which just wastes a whole bunch of time, and you only have like a set amount of lives. Usually it's about 4 lives per level.
Yeah, it doesn't usually end up mattering because I would hope that I'm good enough at this game to not die, but
yeah, and
it happens sometimes.
And depending on where you die, depending on where the ghosts are and how many wandering ghosts are, they can just combo you to death because when you die or use a bomb, all the ghosts go back to the middle of the stage. And you can actually see the sleeping ghosts despawning when he picks up the next fruit because the next section of the level happens. The terrain and everything changes all the time. It's really crazy. It's much more prevalent later in the game. Especially with a level called Half, which is nuts.
Oh, yeah, we should note about bombs. The really important part about bombs for the speedrun is that they will, when Alpha said that they'll knock any ghost back to the center, that is any currently alerted ghost. So that means all roaming ghosts on the level, and any ghosts that are following you, plus any ghost that has made the little, like, swing noise when you pass by them. They will be popped back to start. So we can use that to clear a bunch of ghosts in our path if it's not worth it to just clear them out normally, which we'll be doing on a few levels, including the one immediately after this, entitled Manhattan, which has a really cool route where we end up doing that a whole bunch.
Yeah, so you may have seen that he just basically walked through a ghost while being half inside of it. Pac-Man's hitbox from the front is very tiny.
He has no hitbox in the front at all.
From behind, it's basically like you're
a truck. You have the most massive hitbox behind you for some reason, but nothing in front of you.
Yeah, so...
as we can see now, you heard a little ding-ding-ding noise. I'm pretty sure that's a score boundary. We can't actually see my score currently because I'm doing time attack. But more roaming ghosts will spawn as you have higher scores. So we can see Pinky just spawn right there. I'm saying Pinky even though I'm pretty sure the ghost names are not mentioned anywhere in this entire game. I'm almost sure that I've checked. I haven't checked the how to play section, so it might be in there. Because I'm presumably good enough at this game that I don't need to check the how to play section. At least I would hope so.
And you never know.
Yeah.
You might have to brush up on some stuff. So one thing to note is that there's basically like 3 states for the ghost, is that they're either sleeping, alerted, or following. When you alert a ghost, it doesn't actually start chasing you until it catches up, until the train that's following you catches up to it and it joins in. And that train's only allowed to be 50 ghosts long.
I think it's 50. I don't actually know the number off the top of my head. It's anywhere between like 35 and 50. There's a set number, but it doesn't really matter, so I've never really paid attention. I should actually count it out someday.
And I mean, you have these cool rainbow bridges following you all the time, which is great.
Yeah, this game's visual, like, sense of visual style is so amazing.
This game...
most of the time, I'm going to say.
Yeah, most of the time.
You're going to ruin
I'm going to make Alpha mad
later.
in the next level with
Absolutely. I'm so upset that you're going to do that.
I mean, this is already a terrible palette decision. I don't know why you chose it.
Yeah, this one's ugly. I'm going to show off probably every palette in the game.
Okay, that's a good point.
There's 12 and there's 12 levels. So now...
Even Mercy killed this run now. Nobody needs to see Pac is back. So the game is now horrifying looking.
The best visual style in the game. If you think that this is the most ridiculous visual style in the game, you're wrong. Or
So,
I'm gonna one-up it later.
As you know, you're supposed to pick up fruits. A cheeseburger is a fruit.
Yes, this game confirmed it.
It's a
But,
part of a balanced,
yeah.
not balanced breakfast.
So I guess there's one thing to clear each stage. You need to pick up every pellet, and every pellet that when you clear the next fruit, every power pellet that it puts down. Some stages have basically these backup power pellets, which are only grabbed sometimes. Usually power pellets aren't very important unless we're trying to jack up our game speed very, very quickly. So you won't see those used, but he doesn't have to eat those. He does have to eat the one at the end of this path right here, just because, you know, the game puts that in. And there's a lot of strats that involve basically dev-intended paths. You can kind of see how they wanted you to go through each section, but there are some stages that's not really what they want, and or it's not fast, and there's crazy things that TPC will do in order to do that, like plinking, because this game is fighting game tech for some reason.
Every game that I run has fighting game tech somehow. So I should explain plinking, because I've actually been doing it a few times in this run. Anybody that's played a modern fighting game probably knows what plinking is. It stands for priority linking, and it stands for basically you push one button and you push a button on the next frame, and it counts as if you push the first button on the both of the frames. So you can do that to delay turns by very specific frame amounts if you want to get extremely precise turns because you need to manipulate the AI somehow. Oh, almost got it. But sometimes the slowdown will just fail. Sometimes we die. It's not a big deal in this level.
Yeah, there's one thing to note about those slowdowns. If the ghost is, say, on the other side of one of those paths that take you to the other side of the level, it won't slow down and you can just run straight into them.
Yeah, you'll just die.
It's the worst.
Yeah, but the rest of Spiral, we have a little bit left of Spiral. But this is a very simple level, so I'm going to kick it back to Humphrey for some donations.
Absolutely, and we've got plenty. Dinger donates $125 and says, "It's sad we only have a couple more days left in the event. It's been a wild ride nonetheless. It has been a meme-filled week. Honk. Can't wait to see all the runs I couldn't catch during the week. This is a great cause, a great community, an amazing event. Donation goes to the runner's choice." Darkrai King donates $25 and says, 3 Pokemon games and 1 AGDQ? Sign me up. I wonder what that blue Taz run will look like.
227 Spiral. All right, considering that included a death in it. Yeah, we'll do that.
It's the hardest part of the run is picking this. Shout outs to Joester, who's running next.
Yeah. Shouts to Joester and PAC-MAN arrangement.
Yeah, this is...
Yeah, I see you over there, Joester.
You'll be seeing this visual style again.
But we have time for more donations. This is another simple level until about halfway through.
Sure thing. Well, let's see how fast you can do it. Because No Name, an anonymous donator, people who don't want the credit, for a $100 donation says, fast is the only speed.
That
Clearly
is
the
correct.
couch, we had some disagreement from the couch on that earlier, but that's fine. Zero Jedi donates $15 and says, as a kid, my orthodontist had a Pac-Man arcade cabinet, so I must have been one of the only kids who would go beg to go to the dentist early. Can't wait to watch these Pac-Man games go down fast. Love GDQ. Big thanks to all the runners, volunteers, and staff. Goose in the audience donates $25 and just says, honk, honk, honk.
Honk, honk to you.
And here's where the level actually gets interesting. So remember how I said that bombs clear out alerted ghosts? Well, we have another way of doing it, which is these power pellets. And we're going to try and chain together an entire power pellet chain to see if we can clear through all of these without having to use any bombs at all. Because ghosts can contain power pellets.
Which is interesting. And the game is always set up that you never have to get the ones in the ghost, because if you use your power pellet in the middle, you can't exactly eat any of the ghosts unless the level spawns a power pellet. And
It always looks really close,
Yeah.
but I've gotten to the point of running this game where like it's not even worrying at all.
yeah, the 3D ones, it looks especially close because you just can't really see the hitbox as well. And he doesn't play on this visual style normally, so...
Yeah, I usually have pretty set visual styles, which I just set randomly one day. I was like, yeah, that looks good. And I don't usually change them in a run.
We gotta show them all off. There will be some fun ones
There are
later.
some really ugly ones. We've already seen one of them.
Yeah, that pixel one is just awful. I want to love it, but it's just bad.
And we're almost to the end of Manhattan. We're in the section where we just, oh, go in this line and eat a whole bunch of pellets. Because we've gotten past the really unique parts of the level. It always looks like so crazy every time. It was to the point where like, oh yeah, just slowing down. Have to make this tight frame window turn. All right.
If you're paying attention to his Pac-Man, you can tell if he buffers a turn because you can just like push right when you're traveling against a wall. Pac-Man will just sort of slide instead of just, you know, waka-waka-ing the whole time. And that was a bit interesting, but it gets through.
239 Manhattan. Kind of choked it at the end there, but, you know, hard game. Hard game, hard life. I don't even remember if I already did that, but we'll do G.
This one's good.
Yeah, this one is a little hard to read at times.
Nice, cool blue.
Yeah, Dungeon's gimmick is that it's really enclosed. You have very small quarters and not a lot of room to maneuver, which will hopefully not be a problem in this run. At least, I hope so.
I mean, at least grows a little bit bigger every time, but
Until, you know, eventually.
until eventually it closes back in on you and you can feel it.
This is...
Yeah, Dungeon, another kind of not very interesting level. So we have time for more donations.
Alrighty. We have $5 from Black Moon, who says,
Hi, Black Moon.
Hi, Black Moon.
hi TBC, Roar, Alpha, Nico, and all of my MFH fam. I cannot stay to watch the whole run. It's not that long a run. You could stay, but time to get my donation in. Good luck. I'm happy to see you doing this live at this event.
Thank you, Black Moon. Black Moon is a friend of ours from the Mystery Funhouse community where a bunch of people on the couches behind us, we get together and blind race a bunch of stupid games because we're idiots.
Nothing about that doesn't sound great.
I wish that we could say we blind race good games, but we absolutely do not.
Hey, you blind
make
raced
good-
this game, Roar.
I did blind race this game, actually. That's why I know enough about it.
Yeah, if you're wondering how qualified my couch is, Roar blind raced this game like a week and a half before coming here. Alpha has played the game once while he was here,
For like 10 minutes, I think.
and Nico has not played this game.
Well, yeah, but you taught me the entire speed run. Just be good and be frame
Yeah.
perfect the whole time. Never die. So easy.
Yeah, easy
That's
speedrun.
all
Like,
speedruns are.
why would you ever want a speedrun with more complex tech than that?
Yeah, we have time for more donations.
We have $10 from Anne Marie that just says, been watching GDQ for a few years now, and it's become a real favorite. Keep up the good work, all. We'll do our best if you keep watching. We have $20 from Foolish Benny and Rika Chow. My 9-year-old son and I are watching throughout the week. He wants to donate his pocket money for the good cause. So here you go. Wishing all the runners good luck, and we're looking forward to the rest of this awesome event. We have an anonymous $100 donation from Drew37.
Oh boy, here we go. This level. So if you're wondering what I would think the hardest level in the game is, this is definitely a contender.
Which one is this?
Championship 1. When this game came out, a common complaint about it is that, oh, there's no classic Pac-Man level, which, one, if you want a classic Pac-Man level, just go play classic Pac-Man. But also, there's this level. There are no standing ghosts in the entire level. They're all roaming ghosts, and this level is awful. This level is unbelievably hard to get a good time in.
Yeah, the roaming ghosts are, he has to manipulate them all if you're framed perfectly the entire time with, you know, when he presses buttons. TPC did a lot of the frame routing in this game by opening a cheat engine and spending way too much time trying to figure out how everything works.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how he knows all of this are, you know, frame perfect. There's a level, and it will come up later, which has the greatest strat ever of holding left for 4 frames on a wall.
Yeah. They get really fun later. Hey, I nailed it like every time in practice.
I know, it was so good. But that's actually one of the really cool levels to watch. But there's multiple ways in this game to play. There's one called Blackout Mode. And you can't see anything. The entire stage is dark.
Oh yeah, Darkness is a really funny run. I've done exactly one All Darkness Time Trials run. And it's really funny on this level, especially because Darkness doesn't change anything about any of the levels, except for this one. In this one, there's no roaming ghost in Darkness mode.
So wait, does that mean there's just nothing?
Nothing. You just get pellets.
Yeah, it's the most boring level ever. If you're wondering how stupid it is and like how unoptimized my run because nobody ever wants to do it, I did a run in the practice room randomly earlier and got like a 20-second PB. And I didn't even play that well at all.
Seems reasonable. Yeah, you'd think that without like the extra wall of ghosts that this would be a lot easier, but just because they're like, we have like a bunch of roaming ghosts here. I think it gets up to 5 that's going.
No, it's all 4.
Oh, it's only 4?
Yeah, all 4 of the main ghosts.
All right.
And the biggest like problem with not that wall of ghosts is there's not a huge amount of ghosts to eat for increasing your game speed.
What?
So the level's
Okay.
slow too.
Odd having a mechanical keyboard because I barely applied any pressure to space and I just used the bomb there, which could actually matter because this level and the next level you only get 5 bombs, and that's it. The only way you can get more bombs is by dying.
And of course, dying is bad. Why would
Yeah,
we do
we
that?
would not want to die.
Really slow on this level.
He loses 10 game speed, and he's already only at 30.
Yeah, and
like,
this level does not give you good ways to get game speed. So
Yeah, there are, in most level in this game, we will get to 50 game speed. This is not one of them. I'm actually pretty sure that's impossible. Though I haven't really tried.
just gotta believe in yourself.
We got bad luck right there. So I'm gonna have to, well, we're at the end anyway, but I'm gonna have to hope for a bit of good luck right here. Well, no, we'll be fine until the end because they give you a bunch of power pellets for no reason at the end.
Luckily, this stage doesn't have that many fruit to collect, so it's a little bit over before it's too long.
Oh, almost
But
a
it's
sub
still
3
3
C1.
minutes.
Yeah, almost a sub 3, which is a really good time on C1 if you get a sub 3. I would be happy with that. So now on to probably the most technical level in the entire game, half. The gimmick about this level is that only half the level exists. The right half of the level, there is nothing. So there's that's the reason why this one is about twice as long as all the other time trials. All the other ones range from like 2 to 3 minutes, except for one level. And then this one is 4.5 and was almost 5 for a while.
it's a really cool level though.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite level in the entire game.
And so every one of these times, he basically has to sweep up the row in order to alert all the ghosts to get out of there. So there's a few times like here where you won't do that, but it's the most commonly recurring gimmick in this. And so we're actually like sweeping around, collecting pellets, and then alerting the ghost to allow us to actually access the next part of the level.
And you're gonna see me like delaying turns a bit or like running left and right really quickly. That's because the ghost train will always take the shortest path to get to you. And sometimes that's inconvenient because it won't pass the ghost that we want. So you will have to delay like a little bit here and there to get them to take the shortest path. You're gonna see it a lot in this level, like right here, because otherwise they'll go the wrong way and they won't alert all the ghosts, which we need. We do get 5 bombs, which can help us on this level if I play well and I don't need them for emergency situations. I can use them to actually save quite a lot of time. If you see that best time 4:30, I got that in the private practice room while just completely memeing with Alpha, like during our practice run. Like I didn't even try, and I just got it.
Yeah, for reference, in like a blind race, I think this took me like 12 minutes or something.
It took you like 8, I think.
8 sounds about right.
It took some girl like 9.
Yeah, but
No, some girl beat me like pretty bad.
But on this
one.
level, she took longer.
Okay.
But yeah, so there is one thing to note, and it should never come up in the run because TPC is pretty good at this. The timer at the top, that's a hard game over if that runs out, but you'll never see
That will never happen.
Yeah, you might see it go to half because some of them are like, oh, you have 5 minutes, and he'll beat it in like 2:30. It's crazy good.
Yeah, this one gives you like a 15-minute timer, which, for reference's sake, I think the first time I ever ran this game single segment, I got a 5.5-minute time on this level. And now it's like if I don't get under 5 minutes, no, not even under 5 minutes. If it's not like under 4:45, that's a pretty bad run. It's not going well. I
Yeah,
don't
so
like-
this one has a lot of the times where you have to kind of sort of like make your way around.
Yeah, so that was a
have
little
to
For
wait.
ghosts that don't like to
Yeah.
move.
He tried to wake up those ghosts, but he had to use a bomb because things were not going well. So the ghost.
So now I
didn't
only
wake
have 2.
up. Yeah. And actually, something just happened there. So the ghost train does have a max limit of these following ghosts, and when it can't put them there, they just kind of explode.
Yeah, which happened to Alpha in one of his runs he was doing. And the great thing is, any ghost that gets alerted will instantly pop off. That includes ones that you're running face first into. So you could just pop off ghosts in front of you, which is really, really hilarious when it happens. And it's never planned.
I don't know. I plan it all the time. You just gotta get on my level.
No.
No, don't get on my level. That'd be a really low level to achieve.
I hope you guys are enjoying the awesome music of this game. The music it's playing right now is called PAC Rainbow. It's basically the main theme of this game, and it's an absolute banger. It's like the best song in this whole game, easily.
This game has an absolutely lovely audio and visual aesthetic to it. Like, it's not what you would expect from a Pac-Man game, which is like the core of simplicity, but this game's just rocking the whole way through.
Yeah, who'd have thought that Pac-Man X Beat Hazard would have been such a good aesthetic?
You know, time to start randomly generating Pac-Man levels to your songs.
That would be absolutely hilarious if they existed.
Oh, man.
So we're nearing the end of half. There's a really cool strat I like to do here that saves almost absolutely no time. I wonder if I can get it. Okay, I didn't. My ghost train is a little too long. You can pass through that by like pixels, literally. And it's like, it's always really funny looking whenever it happens because it never looks like it should be possible, but you know, just do it anyway. Who needs things that are possible in speedruns when you could do things that don't look like they're possible?
I mean, isn't that like the reason why we do it? I don't know.
Just really trying to make sure that Ghost Train doesn't do anything stupid.
Yeah, especially on this pattern.
This
like
game
that.
is really easy to get that ghost train following you in the wrong spot, and you just have to waste like 3 or 4 seconds trying to get them into a better position.
So now because I have 2 bombs, I can save a little bit of time on this pattern because this is the last one. Okay, I definitely pressed up right there.
And that's one of those, there was no slowdown when he was going through because the Ghost Train was right behind him.
This is a pretty atrocious half, but that's bound to happen sometimes. This is by far the hardest level in the game. That's 504. So that's the end of the no DLC section. I included DLC in this goal because the game just doesn't really feel that complete without it. So next we're going on to Mountain. And the great thing that Namco likes to do is they like to shout out a lot of their older games in their games. So this one has 2 extra visual styles as well. A Rally X mode, because they thought that this would be a good idea. In addition, this is the easiest level in the entire game. So I'm going to take the opportunity to do this while I'm here.
Yeah, this game is obviously easy because TPC is only playing, you know, with one hand the whole time.
I'll post those to Twitter later.
But Rally X is just amusing. It's a very simple and slow level.
You get a great remix of the Rally X thing. Oh, I just realized something. I need to restart this level. I accidentally put it on PB time, which means if I don't beat my PB time, I lose the level instantly. So sorry, this run is officially invalid for the leaderboards because it's not single segment anymore.
Well,
You should have just PB'd, man.
time to pack up and go home. Yeah, you
I
should
mean,
have just PB'd.
With a 5-minute half, I wouldn't have PB'd anyway.
Yeah.
Staring at my PB, I got a 434.
But
You just gotta believe in yourself. It's cool.
So yeah, this level's by far the easiest one in the game and the shortest. It's the only level that is under 2 minutes. Currently.
Namco would like to remind you that the special flag from Super Smash Bros. Is in fact a fruit.
Yeah, that's also a fruit.
They are edible.
I'm sorry to the bitrate on the stream for these ghosts. This game is the ultimate bitrate destroyer. There's so many like crazy visual effects that it's like, oh wow, sure hope you like your stream looking okay. Especially on my like home computer because it's like a pile of junk. Oh, I did not get good luck right there.
That was another case where the train went the wrong direction and it cost him just a couple extra seconds.
Yeah, you need to delay like just a tiny little bit, and I didn't delay enough.
So an interesting thing about the train is that as you make errors that put you closer to the train, you know, it does get closer to you. But the train will always be at some level of like a fixed distance from you that if you pull away from it, you'll get further out in just a few moments. So you never have to worry about losing too much time on the train encroaching on you because you'll very swiftly pull away from it.
The rest of the mountain's pretty boring, so we have time for more donations.
Nothing about this is boring, but I can oblige you. Flo Fails donates $15 and says, destroy those pellets like cancer. What a chill game. Greetings from the chill north. Announcer's choice. And of course, my choice is going to be the bonus game coming up tonight.
So now on to Big Eater. I hate this level, by the way. So we'll use the Dig Dug skin, which is another great one.
Dig Dug!
So Dig Dug is technically the most optimal one because it's the only color style in the game that has a difference between the wandering ghosts and the following ghosts.
So I'm taking a slightly different route than I would usually use here. The route that I'm using is going to be generally a little bit safer. In PB attempts, there's a pretty tricky route, but it leaves you really short on bombs, which is not a good place to be in this game. So I'm taking a slightly safer route.
Yeah, he says it's short on bombs. This stage gives you a lot of bombs, which is why that.
It does not give you enough, though. We get a sweet remix of the Dig Dug theme as well. And not as good as the Rally X one.
I mean, that's just because you don't like Dig Dug enough.
I love Dig Dug.
Dig Dug's a great.
I tried to speedrun Dig Dug.
How'd that go?
Bad. Really bad. Really, really bad.
What are you eating there instead of fruit?
I don't even know.
Flowers.
Oh, yeah, flowers.
Oh, they are flowers.
So I hope you love the Dig Dug music. But the rest of the Big Eater, this level just sucks. Like, that's it. So it's not too exciting. So we have more time for donations.
Sounds good. We've got Pinball Whiz 45B with $10.
Hey, PBW.
Really enjoying the Pac-Man block so far. Big thanks to Tea Party and Joester for running these 2 games. Donation goes to the 5th bonus game. We've got Lance Alvain with a $150 donation.
Hi, Lance.
Had to donate during TPC's Pac-Man run. Shout out to him and all the MFH crew. While I end up as a viewer, much more than a racer, I still feel welcome. Well, let's see some new gold splits.
Yeah, I wish. I had the most insane luck in the practice room where, like, I got like 3 new gold splits in 2 days. I got a 4-second gold on half in my meme run with Alpha. And then I got like 2 this morning when I was practicing with Joester. I think the private practice room is just good luck.
Yeah, we had a wonderful case where during the New Year he was doing a run of this like right up to the wire.
Okay, yeah, I should mention that. So yeah, I was doing a run on New Year's to like raise money to come here, because basically it was a financial miracle that I was even able to come. And so I was playing the game, doing my PB attempt, and I finished the no DLC part at 11:59 p.m. on December 31st, and it was a PB.
Beautiful.
And then I did the rest of the run, and it was still a PB. So I got 1 PB in 2 different years. I'll go with F because this is ugly, kind of.
Ugh. Why?
So Championship 3 is another one of the most technical levels in the game. I'm going to be attempting a very hard strat right here that doesn't even save that much time, but it looks really cool. So that's almost like saving time.
You gotta get fast.
Swag strats are the most important strats.
There is a slightly safer variation that I am doing of it. It will not save as much time, but that is how I have a 2:55 best time that I got this morning in the private practice room, just casually doing a run. And I was actually super impressed and so happy. So yeah, we have more time for donations.
Duke1102 donates $10 and says, waka 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 waka. If the audience at Couch does a nice waka 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 impression, I will donate another $10. Let's beat cancer. So let's hear it.
Waka 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 waka.
That's got to be good enough. On topic, Kiwi Basket with $25. Waka 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 waka.
Waka 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 waka.
It's like a mating call. You do it and it comes right back to you. It's wonderful.
All right, so there's one thing about this stage. It's the only stage that like drops bombs just in the path, but
Yeah, I don't know why they do that.
yeah,
Like,
and still to clear the stage, unlike I guess you only have to pick up things with the word pellet in the name, because the bombs you can just leave there even though the devs put them there and still finish the stage. But
yeah, we just pick them up because it's pretty much impossible to avoid them.
yeah.
And there's no like slowdown or anything for touching them.
I love the number of colors in this. It reminds me of Snakebird.
It's because, believe it or not, TPC, they expected this stage to be, you know, hard.
Nah.
This is one of my favorite
Yeah,
sections. It's
I
just
love this
so
one.
good.
ghosts.
You just hold right. The great thing is if you do the harder strat, you have barely enough frames to make it through on that power pellet. Like, it literally is down to the wire. It's so much easier to do that on this keyboard because you can tap left and right so fast. I wish I had this keyboard at home.
Weren't you just complaining about it like 5 minutes ago?
Well, like, it's hard to get adjusted for, like, the really precise tricks, but being able to mash really fast is nice.
That's fair.
Yeah, who needs a legless setup and, you know, a keyboard that's responsive to play a game that requires frame-perfect tricks and is Pac-Man?
There's still no reason for the words frame-perfect tricks and plinking to be described in a Pac-Man run.
Yeah, that's why this game is the best. This game is actually just so sick. If you're looking at this and you're interested at all in doing any runs, we have a very welcoming community. We have a lot of people that do ILs. ILs are despite what I was saying earlier, they are a good way to get into this game. It's just run single segment, you weenies.
Yeah, the ILs are only like 30, like somewhere between 10 and 30 seconds for each one. Like, they're really short.
Yeah, they're crazy short. That's actually the bread and butter of this game, because like in order to unlock the full ones, you have to do all the small ones.
That was a really good C3.
Yeah, also that's sick.
Yeah, this game's really easy to pick up. Just by playing it, you're gonna end up speedrunning it. And here we go to Highway 2. Highway 2 is kind of a storied history for me. This is the first level that I even tried to improve the IL on a bunch. And this is definitely the one that's gotten the most optimized. You can see my best time is 2:08:61 there, which I also set that in the practice room this morning by like 3 frames or something. It was insane PB, but this is definitely the one that's the most optimized. This is the one that really kind of got me hooked on the game. This is the one with the cool strat that Alpha was talking about, where coming right here, we'll see if I get it, where after eating this ghost train, turn down on the first frame and wait exactly 4 frames on the wall. I think I was a little late there. It will set you up for the most optimal pattern, and the best time I think you can get with this is a 2:07. And it looks to be the correct pattern so far.
Yeah, if he doesn't quite get it, he'll get a 2:09, and if it goes really badly, which hopefully it won't, it'll be worse.
Yeah. This level is really consistent, luckily.
Yeah, he has to do a ton of different other things also while doing this, like a bunch of frame-perfect turns and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of really silly stuff that happens in this
And it's
level.
so hard to see when he's doing these things, just because, you know, it's Pac-Man.
There's a reason I have an input viewer on at home. Oh, I missed that. All right, you do, there's a certain amount of time in between you eat ghosts where you have a certain amount of time where you can eat ghosts without like the lag associated at the start of it. And you can do it with like a little spacing there. But I didn't get it, so I will not get the most optimal time. Sadly, you do have to get that to get like a 2:07, because that saves like half a second. It is extremely hard though. But we are nearing the end of Highway 2. And the rest of the level, it looks kind of nuts at times because this one gets really fast. And it looks really fancy, and you can do a lot of cool stuff like that. That looks really neat, but is actually incredibly easy.
There's just so much.
Okay, I thought I could have made it that time, but sometimes you just have to go for it.
There's so many like pixel perfect turns that you do in this game.
They all look really impressive, and everybody who comes to my stream watching this is just like, oh, that looks so cool. I'm like, this is so easy. What are you talking about? So yeah, here we are at the end of Highway 2. And that's it, time. 2:16 Highway 2 is pretty solid. So I'm going to give shout outs to all the MFH folks, including the 3 wonderful guys on my couch right there and all the ones on the back couch right there. I see you, Jal, Spin. All you guys are awesome. We have fun time racing things, and you should all join us. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody back home that really helped me, everybody in my FGC community back home who plays silly games like Under Night with me. Everybody that watched my stream who helped me to get here, everybody who watches this game, everybody who runs this game, shouts to F Symbols, Pinball Wizard, and I think that's all I have to say. So join MFH, have fun,
Mystery
and play.
Funhouse.
Yeah, and play Under Night Inverse.
Thank you for that wonderful run. We have $25 from Cthulhu's mom. Mommy and the whole crew love you. Death to cancer. We have a $275 donation from Anonymous that just says heart. S. Jane Winchester donates $23 and says, Pokemon. I put over 500 hours in Pokemon X, and Pokemon Blue is my first Pokemon game. $23 for the cutest snake Pokemon, Ekans. Thanks for all you do, AGDQ. And with that, it looks like Keizaron is ready to talk some Pokemon with Wartab.
What's up, AGDQ? It's Keizaron here. I'm joined by my good pal Wartab, who's going to be doing the Pokemon X and Y run. Pretty excited for that. How are you feeling right now?
A little bit anxious. It's a long run, and there can be a lot of mistakes that can be done, and the game is pretty brutal. Not as much as Sapphire, but it can be brutal.
I think Wartab's going to do great. He's actually probably one of the best runners within the community for some of the newer gen of Pokemon games. Why don't you tell us what got you to pick up speedrunning Pokemon?
Cheesy answer is you.
Because I need that ego.
And Gunner. But yeah, I was just really amazed by how fast you could play the games that I always love to play. And yeah, it was just Pokemon.
Was there any particular game that you wanted to pick up right away, or did you just kind of gravitate towards the newer ones because they weren't as explored and routed?
Yeah, that's basically it. Like, I just love solving mysteries, and rooting Pokemon games, new ones especially, is really amazing for me, and that's why I root all the games I play.
Yeah, you've been a really huge contributor for you've done a lot for Gen 6, you've done a lot for Gen 7, you've done a lot for specifically Sword, because Sword and Shield have slightly different routes. So it's really cool to see you're finally going to be featured on stage. All your hard work is finally going to pay off. Don't let me down.
I will try.
Let's go ahead and throw to some social media questions here. So we have at PAC-1017, out of all the Pokemon games, which is the most fun to speedrun?
Out of all the Pokemon games, I would say the most fun to speedrun is probably just Pokemon Let's Go, because it's so easy to get started with, and you will almost never die, and any run you start will finish.
Right.
So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, Pokemon Let's Go is definitely one that I've enjoyed seeing brand new runners pick up. Like Wartab said, it's a really easy game to pick up, and there's a lot of really good detailed notes, both for beginners and experts alike. We also have at JosieFelly1, favorite Gen 6 mechanic.
So it is not really mechanic, but it's something that got introduced, and it's the fairy type, which I love personally. It really adds some balance to the game for OP dragons.
Yeah, it stopped dragons in their place. It was pretty nice. So we have at Geo, oh dear. What is your favorite Pokemon to use as your main in a speedrun, and why is it Hawlucha?
What? Hawlucha? No, I would say it's Primarina, because the type balancing and the coverage is really amazing, and Encore.
And Encore, shout outs to Garfield the Lightning. So we have at Kimmerk, I hope I said that right, Kimmerk87. What's your favorite starter Pokemon of all time?
Hands down, Cyndaquil.
Not a bad choice, I guess.
Yeah, I also love the pure fire typing. It's pretty good, and I used to do Gen 2 speed runs with it.
in quotes. From Mr. J.A., I don't know if I'm supposed to say Ja. What is your favorite Pokemon from the new generation?
Oh, okay. Inteleon?
Oh, that's such an easy answer. That's
I know.
lame.
No, I would
you
have to
spent so
think
much
about
time with him that I would assume that you'd get tired of it.
I kind of do.
Now, not to spoil the run too terribly much, but is there anything that you can reveal about the upcoming run that's like a cool trick or just something to watch out for that might be difficult to get past?
Yeah, there's it's called a 20% simulator, because there are a lot of 20% chances for something to happen that you have to have happen, notably 2 catches. So yeah, that's the hardest thing. That's basically the most big reset point in the run.
Now, I want to ask you more questions, but I noticed that there's someone that's sitting on top of the couch. What are you doing?
The interview is over, Keys. I have the high ground. Along with my friend.
Wait, what?
Yes, I have allied with the goose.
He was on my side.
Yeah, our popularity together will defeat you, Keys. That is what I believe.
Did you know that someone spoiled things and showed my arm as a behind-the-scene thing holding the goose?
All of our arms are holding
All of our arms.
Oh, anyway, guys, we have some absolutely great prizes to talk about from now until the end of that upcoming Pokemon run. So let's just highlight a couple of them as the goose falls over. Don't worry about him. He's fine. That is what gooses naturally do, I think. At least what Keys tells me.
Yes.
So the first prize the first prize we have here is now stuck in this picture frame. It's fine. Here we go. So from our friends over at Studio Pen, we have a couple of beautiful prints for you guys. We have a Pallet Town print from, Gen 1 Pokemon. That's super cool.
Gen 1 boo.
Why all the Gen 1 hate? Come on, everyone loves Gen 1. Charmander, like the best starter ever. And of course, we have a Miss Pac-Man print as well. Both of them are individual $10 minimum donations. So hey, get a $10 minimum donation and you could win either of these super awesome prints from Studio Pen. Thank you guys for making that happen. Just put those down for a second. Now, also, for a $10 minimum donation, and speaking about how Charizard is personally my favorite starter, we have this beautiful Charizard print from our friend Keizaron. $10 minimum donation. Did you guys just not like Charizard, or what's up with that? Come on.
I just don't like Gen 1 in general.
All right.
I mean, you want to talk about, like, Primarina. I'm all about Primarina. Where's the Primarina love?
I don't know what that is. Is that a flavor of ice cream?
Sometimes it's gelato.
Here we go. If you wouldn't mind passing that over to Keys, so he can have some more one-on-one time with the Charizard.
Great. Yeah, that's totally what I. Thanks, buddy.
So for a $15 minimum donation, we have this lovely Kanto artwork. We got some Gen 2 at least. How does that make you feel?
I can live with Gen 2.
All right,
Good
Gen 2
choice.
is pretty good. I love this artwork. You have I guess the main character in Gen 2 is gold generically.
Yep.
Staring up at the mountains. It's really beautiful print, $15 minimum donation, also from our good friend Keizaron, who did that Charizard. Huge shout outs to him for making it happen. Also for a $15 minimum donation, guys, we have the Celeste Farewell cassette, the Chapter 9 soundtrack, on a physical cassette. So if you still have a cassette tape player somewhere, you can listen to it. If you don't have a cassette tape player somewhere, it's still cool. You can place it somewhere. Look at it. $15 minimum donation for that, as well as $15 minimum donation for a collector's edition of Celeste PC. Comes with a couple of super things. Of course, a copy of the game, a digital copy of the soundtrack, a physical copy of the soundtrack on a cassette tape, and a plush strawberry. And I think this version of the physical copy of the game actually even comes with a special recipe for strawberry pie. So you can finally put those strawberries to good use.
The strawberries that we never get as a speedrunner.
Hey, all berries is a category.
That's fair.
That's fair, $15 minimum donation for that. Make sure to get your donations in, guys. We have so many great prizes available for you today. Prizes like our grand prize, a custom prop from our friends over at Heroic Replicas. You can get that amazing Master Sword and Hylian shield, customized however you like. The one we have has a really cool Dark Link aesthetic to it. You can get the Fishbone guitar, or you can get it as a bass from Majora's Mask. It's super cool. Glad we got it here. We finally got it tuned last night, actually. We're one step closer.
It wasn't tuned this whole time.
We're one step closer to me playing Freebird. I don't know how to use a guitar, Keys. I'm getting there.
I'll teach you.
All right. He's going to teach me before the end of this marathon. And of course, if neither of those strikes your fancy, you can work with Heroic Replicas to design your own prop. And Keys, what kind of Pokemon prop would you design?
Probably dog.
Dog. All right. Excellent choice, Keys. Not goose. Dog.
No, we don't need goose.
Dog.
We don't need goose.
My favorite of the Animorphs. Anyway, guys, that's going to be just about all the time we have. Keys, thank you so much for having me. Good luck on the Pokemon run. That's coming up just here in a little bit after Pac-Man arrangement by Joestar 98. So let's get it back up to the front and get ready for that run.
Good. Thank you, Sense. All right. We have a $50 from who says we have a $50 from. Thank you for that. We have $2 from Sunrise on Zebus. Thanks to all the runners and staff who make this awesome event possible. P.S. GDQ Heart is my new favorite emote. All right, we're gonna play a quick Twitch ad here, so stay tuned. Welcome back. Kiwi Basket donates $10 and says, shout out to Sen's gigantic shirt. I missed that game. Captain Swag 101 donates $50 and says, my jaw dropped when I saw that there would be a GBA Pac-Man arrangement run here at AGDQ 2020. Pac-Man Collection was my first ever Game Boy Advance game, and I spent hours playing arrangement in my early childhood. Can't wait to see Joester98 absolutely destroy it. Donation goes towards the 5th bonus game. Well, good news, Captain Swag.